If I were in your shoes, I would want to know what's in the closing disclosure. This process has gotten a little more complicated over the years as there have been more and more legislation and regulation in the mortgage industry. A closing disclosure will come to you usually via electronic disclosure right around the time when your loan is approved. That closing disclosure is going to have all of the information that you would need to know about your loan, including interest rate, closing costs, total amount of funds needed, APR percentage, as well as the total monthly payment. We'll also tell you if there are any prepayment penalties, if your escrows are included in the payment, as well as the settlement services. In a purchase transaction, you're going to have credits potentially from the seller. You're going to have the earnest money, and you're going to have prorations of different municipality fees. All those things will be located within the closing disclosure. Now, one thing you should know is that oftentimes the initial closing disclosure will get to you well in advance of your closing date, and the fine-tuning of those numbers will still be worked on between the lender and the settlement company. So it's important for you to know that you must consent to receipt of the initial closing disclosure at least 3 business days prior to closing, but those numbers can be adjusted and will be adjusted. My advice is to consent to receipt of the closing disclosure if the majority of the information is accurate, and if there's any variances that you want to discuss, then please bring that to my attention. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you find this information useful.